Thanks for doing it, man. I appreciate it.
No, thank you. Thank you. Perfect timing that you would ask me to do your do your show.
Yeah, I
Because
was listening to your music. 'Cause I was obviously I've chatted to a lad called Stephen Fad before. Don't know if you, but he was the one that shared you on Instagram. So and I listened to your
yeah, yeah,
music and I
yeah.
thought,
I just met Stephen this past Tuesday
oh, did you?
at an
He's a
open
cool
mic.
guy, man. I enjoy chatting to him.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Ah, cool. So it'll just be a little bit about about yourself and your music and stuff. I've done a bit of reading up on you. You've had quite a cool life, so I've got a bit to
Thank
ask
you.
you.
Thank you.
How did your sort of music journey start?
Oh my God. Well, I don't want to make it a too long story, but um, you mean my professional
Yeah,
career?
yeah. What
Well,
inspired you to sort of get into it?
yeah, I started singing in high school and with different groups and bands, and and got bit by the bug of wanting to be a performer and singer songwriter, and so it started in high school, and then I started doing um, theater, musical theater, um, and singing jingles, commercials for McDonald's, Coca-Cola, and all that, and 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 just pursuing, being a songwriter singer. I sang in church also, so it's sort of the typical trajectory from you know
Yeah,
without going into a long story.
I love you because you've got a great soulful voice. It's brilliant. Like it's brilliant to
Thank
listen
you.
to. I love that sort of music anyway. So as you can tell, there's a bit of gospel and stuff in there, and like it's a great sound.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
How do you like approach interpreting that sort of sound into your music?
How do I approach? What is that again?
Like how do you approach interpreting that sound into your albums and your music and stuff? Like
Well, when I say that I sang in church, I didn't come up in a gospel church, um, and I know my voice. It has a very gospely kind of style and sound, and it comes from, I guess, listening to so many or different singers, and it's just sort of the way I naturally express myself musically and
yeah,
vocally. Um, there are many great singers, and there's different styles. I think when I was much younger and starting off, you would hear a different approach to my vocal style. It was a bit more smoother and more melodic in my delivery. And as I've gotten older, I think I've gotten more freer with my vocal expression, and I don't I don't think so much when I sing.
yeah. One of your
Yeah,
songs I was listening to today, I think it was one of your, I think it was the one that you brought out in the 80s. It gave me like a Prince, a bit of a Prince vibe.
which one? Take a chance.
It's like the one that's on Spotify. It's like the one that was released
Oh,
in
take a chance on the
1984.
feeling.
Yeah, yeah, Take a Chance on the Feeling. That's a great song. But
Thank you.
it reminds me of like Prince and
That's
the
my very
Revolution sort of
first.
sound.
That was my very first record.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, and I'm really amazed that it's found it's this like sort of underground following. It's become this kind of a hit. I mean, it is a hit among the 80s funk groove followers, and I would have never imagined that, like, 41 years later.
Crazy, isn't it?
Hey,
That's why I like doing this because I discover like not so much new music as well, but older stuff that I've probably never have heard. Like, so I've enjoyed that. I'm a big Prince fan as well, so it was good hearing
yeah, I
something that was
love
quite
Prince.
similar to like that era of Prince. Like, I just loved it.
Can't help it.
Yes.
Yeah.
How has your sound sort of evolved since like from that point until now?
Well, again, I vocally. I think compared to me vocally then, my voice has become a bit more raspy. I mean, I had that quality then, but I approached singing a little differently. I think I was more controlled and wanting to sound a little bit more smoother. Now, it's looser. It's more expressive, I think. And then also the musical styles of that time is songs and it's just different. You know, it's hard to explain. I think that also, again, my influences sort of help direct, what I'm doing. And
Yeah.
also now, being an artist now, I'm much more deliberate in maintaining my I hate to say roots, but the legacy that I think I represent as an artist and what I come from. I've evolved from the time when you had to be a musician to record. You know, the musicians came into the studio and actually played, and you recorded on 2-inch tapes, and you had to cut and edit the tapes, and all of that. It's I'm so thankful that I've come through that period, and I think that now when you hear my music and me as an artist, you still get that authenticity.
Yeah. Do you find it easier or harder now? It's all sort of changed from when you first done it.
I mean, technology has made it so accessible for anybody to make music and to put music out that, I mean, on certain levels, I mean, it's really good. It's good, but what's happened is that people have become so overwhelmed by all the music that's out and available, and also they can get it for free. So people don't appreciate it the same way.
Yeah.
I think people take for granted music and artists. There's, um, oh God, we could talk forever about this,
Yeah, I know.
and I don't want to go off into this tangent about it, but I mean, there's some pros and cons. I find it as an independent artist and as an artist who wants to maintain my individual signature, I should say, and who I am as an artist, it's good because the gatekeepers are eliminated, but it's it's always been difficult, but it's even more difficult because everything is available and there's so many people out there and you have to cut through, all the noise.
Well, even
Uh,
like signing AI artists to getting signed, and it's like, how do you sign an
oh my
AI artist? That
God.
doesn't make any sense.
Oh
It's
my
like,
God. Oh my God. And yeah, I mean, literally we could talk all day about this. And you know what else that really gets under my skin about AI and what's happened? It's like on YouTube and all these little um, not just documentaries, but everything. They're using these AI voices to narrate
yeah,
whatever.
and it sounds terrible.
It's and they mispronounce the words. And I also am a voice over artist. To speak, and it puts so many actors and voiceover artists out of business. You
Yeah,
don't you don't get the authenticity or the human connection when you listen. And people are, especially young kid, people now, they're so accustomed to hearing these digital and uh, voices, these AI voices, that they don't even know how to listen to someone actually speak.
yeah.
So and also with the music, it's, oh man, it's really could be depressing, but I think it's important for artists such as myself who are also live performers. I mean, I am a live performer,
Yeah, I've
and
watched some
it's
of your
more.
videos. It looks great.
Thank you. So I'm thankful that I can do that, but it's going to be interesting to see where things go in the next, not even 2 years, within the next year, where
But it
things
pisses me
go.
off as well because obviously I like discovering new artists, and then it's just it holds people back and it makes things 10 times harder than what it already is for newer artists. I think so.
Yeah,
It's a load of bullshit, and I hate it.
yeah. And and again, coming from the time that I've come from, where going to a concert and you see a performer right in front of you, and you engage with the artist and the whole audience, the whole experience of going to a concert, and you do it, it's a relationship that you create with the music and the artist.
Yeah, you
And
can't beat it.
yeah, I mean, it's just like us talking here now. We've created a relationship that you cannot get with an AI,
Yeah,
you know.
as much
With
as people try.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it is. It's just not the same. I hate all that. I listen to like an AI song just to see if it just don't have that feel. It doesn't have it has
yeah,
nothing. You can
yeah,
tell it's like just generic.
yeah. And now they're offering these apps where you can just tell it what you want it to say, and it will create this song. And then even if you can't sing, it will create a different voice, and people think that they're doing something. They think they're being creative. They're
Yeah,
not. They're not doing anything. And so people are being um, brainwashed and manipulated, and the culture, where we're going. You're going to have one group of people who are from the old century and actually were human, and then you have the cyborgs, and so that's what it seems like we're going towards. So
yeah, 100%. I'm hoping it just becomes a thing where people click onto it and they. But the worrying thing is with AI, it's only going to get improved, ain't it? And
exactly,
eventually, you're not going to know.
exactly. So I think at this point in my journey, it's really important for me to cultivate even more of a relationship through live connections with people, these conversations that like we're having, um, and there's a whole lot of people who still want to hear and feel music. They just, after a certain age, I think people are disconnected from um, online and dealing with all the digital stuff. But there's a lot of people out here still that appreciate, what I have to offer.
100%. I went to see Oasis last week their big tour. It
Oh,
was so
really?
good, man. Like it's just that feeling of like any gig I get, I buzz from anyway. But it was because that was such a big deal.
Yeah, yeah,
It was
yeah.
brilliant. It was
Where,
brilliant.
where, now, where are you at again in the UK?
I'm in a town called Corby, which is about an hour on the train from London. But it's a little small town I live in. But I go to a lot of gigs and stuff,
Okay.
so I get about. You'll have to get over here. Get over here and do a
You,
gig.
I haven't been to in the UK in, God, on 20 some years maybe. Um, and I had an experience there. This was back in 90s, late 90s. I have a song that when you get a chance, called "Don't Worry About Me." Is on my Titus Volume 1 album. And I had released it as a 12-inch single, and it found an audience in the UK at
Oh,
one of
really?
these soul weekenders.
I like the
And
Northern Soul type thing.
yeah,
I love
Blackpool.
Northern Soul.
Yeah,
I'll have to listen to that.
yeah, Blackpool.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
yeah. And so I came over to, they didn't even know I was coming, but I decided that I was going to come over to, since, the people were, really into the song and they were doing some reviews in newspapers and stuff. And, and they had this big weekend there, and it was huge tent. And I walked into this room, this big room where everybody was at, and there was this song playing, and I'm walking around, and I'm like, that sounds familiar. Why do I know that song? And it was my song. And I, it didn't even register that it was my song.
That's
And
amazing.
nobody knew I was there, uh, but I love being in the UK, and I really, really, really want to come back. And I live in Hamburg, so it's not
Yeah,
so
I've seen that. You live in
far away.
Hamburg. How long
Yeah,
have you lived in Hamburg?
this is my 13th year, 13th, starting my 14th year. But right now, I'm in Toronto, Canada,
Oh, yeah.
because I forgot to renew my visa.
Oh, did you?
And so I had to leave the country for 3 months.
Oh, then you can go back.
Yeah. But I didn't want to go back to the States because, as you probably see what's going on there,
It's not much better here either, to be fair.
um, yeah. But so I came to Toronto, and it's a beautiful city. But I want to come and visit the UK.
I read that you've written and produced for artists as well.
Yeah.
But
There's a
do you
there's a
prefer writing
bit
and producing, or do you prefer being your own artist?
as what was the question again?
Do you prefer writing and producing for other people, or do you prefer just being your own?
It's not a preference. It's a pleasure
Yeah,
to get the opportunity to work with other artists, and to hear what they might bring to a song, or what I might be able to contribute to what they're doing. You know Dennis Edwards.
so
He
yeah.
There's a video on YouTube. Put in Marshall Dennis Edwards and Marshall Titus in the studio, and it's a documentary of well, not me, it's him for him, but it's of me in the studio producing him. So that's and that one moment was it was like a dream come true, because he was a great inspiration to me a singer,
Yeah.
but also he he had no there was no ego or any. It was so easy working with him, and so yeah, I loved having that experience of working with, or being involved in someone sort of behind the scenes and helping develop what they're doing.
Do you approach it much differently when you're working for somebody else's stuff than you do your own?
No, not really. It's about the song and what I hear, or how I want to paint the picture. Uh, and if when it's another singer, I try and listen to who they are as the singer, what their um, capabilities are as a singer, also what it is they're trying to express, and finding the right songs and the right feeling to frame all that. And also, I believe even before the singer, it's the song.
Yeah.
I think the song is probably the most important piece of the puzzle, because you can have a mediocre singer and a great song, and the song will carry the singer. You can have a great singer, and if they don't have a good song, yeah, you might like the voice, but it doesn't. It's like the clothes have to fit.
Yeah.
So
100%.
as a producer and as a songwriter, now from when I work for myself as a songwriter, I'm really critical as to what I'm singing, because I want to say what I want to say. I want it to have value to people, and I want it to represent who I am as a person. Um, and also, the songs that inspire me, or that that move the world. There's a certain quality and integrity about a great song, and so that's what I aspire for, having a really great song.
Yeah, I love that. That's cool. I've got to ask about this as well because didn't know this about you and I read up. Were you in Barbershop?
Yeah.
Yeah, how did
You,
that?
you have to
How
you
did,
have to
how,
watch it again and see if you
yeah, well,
recognize
that's what I said to Sophie because I loved that film when I was younger. I'm a big Ice Cube fan as well, so I watch anything Ice
it. Yeah,
Cube's in.
I have a scene with he and I.
Oh
I'll tell you
dear,
that.
how did that come about? How did you end up being in that?
Well, audition. When as an actor you audition for roles and parts, and I auditioned for that, and
How did
there
you
it
find the
is.
experience from singing going into acting?
Well, I've been doing both. From theater, you know, it's the music. That's always been my main focus, but I've always acted. And yeah, there. And matter of fact, there's a French film that you can also find on YouTube called. The French title is Mort un dimanche de pluie, which means death on a rainy Sunday. And I sang the title song for the movie, and I sang actually three songs for the film, and I have a cameo appearance in the film, which you can find on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll have a
That
look.
was yeah. So um, I, I enjoy acting, but it's just like singing or pursuing singing, pursuing a career as an actor it requires just as much dedication and focus as the music. And
Yeah.
I just my dedication is more in my music pursuits.
Yeah, good.
And
Stick with the music.
I
Music's better for the world.
yeah,
Yes.
and also acting, I would want to do things that I really want to do as an actor. So
Yeah. I don't suppose you got to pick Ice Cube's brains about music or anything, did you?
no, we didn't really get a chance to talk,
It'd
but
be
I
interesting
will.
to see what he had to say, though, wouldn't it, about the music scene with his career and stuff.
Yeah, but I will say that the little time that I we had in the scene, he was really cool, and it was very relaxed, and so I have a good experience of working with him.
Ah, that's cool. And what do you think sort of new soul artists now could learn from like the legends of the past and people like yourself that have been doing it a long time?
Well, first of all, I think that um, the younger or the people now should learn to that they didn't just get here, and whatever talents they have. Talent talent is great, and it is a gift, but to succeed and oh God, this is another conversation we could talk on and on and on about. But hopefully there's a curiosity in the younger people to investigate what happened before them
Yeah.
and who made it possible for them. It's like on YouTube now when I hear watch all these shows where the first reaction and people are just discovering like Prince, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God, it just blows my mind that they don't know about all these other artists and the music, the songs, and they hear these songs like for the first time, and they're like, "Oh my God!" It's
Yeah.
like, yeah,
My
yeah, this is what it's about, and because what I'm hearing, I mean, there's some really good music out or that exists now, but people are not hearing it. And what is being sold to the public is excuse me, is shit.
Yeah, what is?
You know, and but there are great artists out here, young and new, but I mean, it's just like everything else in the world. People now have grown accustomed to mediocrity, and so they don't it's important for younger people to aspire for something better.
Yeah.
And what will allow them to get better is to discover their past.
Have you got sort of any advice for sort of like newer musicians starting out? 'Cause you've been in it a long
Well,
time now.
you know, it's like speaking of Stephen, that who I met uh, Tuesday. He's very what I think is sort of rare in that his enthusiasm and his curiosity and personal desire to be great. Um, I again, it's I and not just young, anybody should investigate in their own curiosity and to go beyond where they think they are, even if you've been around for a long time. Um, I have a song that hasn't been released called Legacy, and it's about honoring where we come from and also still aspiring to go further.
Yeah.
And so for younger people just getting started, and it's something you really can't teach, is how to appreciate where you are and the journey and look at what you're doing as a journey. I mean, it's life. You know, I don't care how old you are. But when you're a singer or aspiring to be in this business, there's so much competition and you want so much, but also to take the time and moment to value yourself and take care of your inner world.
Yeah, I love that.
Uh,
I
yeah,
love that.
so yeah.
What's next for you then? You like got more music coming out? Are you doing a little tour?
Well, I really would like to see um like I have a lot of music that's out. Like when it's like the other day I was looking at Spotify in my catalog of songs, and I was in the car yesterday with a friend of mine, and he was, said to Siri, play Marshall Titus on Spotify, and I'm listening to these songs, and I don't mean to sound arrogant or anything, but they're really great songs,
Yeah.
and the world really hasn't heard them, and I want before I leave this world, I would like to experience. Uh, a great the world knowing more of my music, and so I would like to tour next year. I released an album 10 years ago. It'll be the 10th year anniversary next year of my album Saul, Sall. It's the white album with the
Yeah.
illustration, and it stands for Send a Little Love. And I want to celebrate that album because I really think it's a really great album. The songs need to be heard. Um, so I want to make a greater effort in being more present in the world in
Oh,
with
man.
my music.
That's cool, man. Well, that's it, really. That was like the gist of it. Like, just a good chat with yourself and hearing about your story. It was really cool. Enjoyed that.
Thank you so much. Also, let me just say, I call my music global soul.
Global Soul.
Yeah, and so I invite your listeners and you and everybody else to join global soul community.